Excuse me. Damn. Oh, my fault. I was about to ask her for her number.
It was at this moment that he knew.
Something went on her face, dog.
What's up?
What up, though?
My bad, I ain't hear you, girl.
Oh, I was just about to
Did she really say what's up like that?
Right.
Ouch. Girl.
ask you for your name, but I didn't know you had a boyfriend.
That's my best friend. So you play on me?
I told you.
What you mean? What you mean? What's
You wanna hear
up?
that?
I ain't even. She said you was
That's what that was.
Right.
She saw the car and she was going for it.
How to choose the right spouse. That ain't it.
Right. Yeah,
Quickly.
she's definitely wrong with that. I mean, she was already with somebody. I mean, but I don't understand. I don't know the situation between her and her man, but you definitely don't do that. You're already with someone.
Ugh. That's crazy.
their
Like,
best friend, bro. I said, what y'all got going on?
Nah, you want my number or something?
She belongs to the streets.
He got my number now, so don't worry about him though.
Hit you up?
And hit me up.
That's crazy. What car was that? I gotta look at how this is crazy.
Oh, that's the nerve to go back to the dude that no, not you gotta walk on. Hey, that's what happened when you choose the wrong one. And she was trying to choose. She was trying to choose. I mean, come on, you don't do that.
ladies. First off, don't go up to the man. Hey, what up?
Right, be in your feminine, please.
Ew. Even if a man like that, first off, if you even trying to get a man like that, ew, that is not cute.
No, it's not at all.
And then with your man on top of that, like immediately, you are like the biggest walking red flag, like
right.
pink. Call it the pink flag with the woman edition, the pink flag, the biggest walking pink flag, because that's crazy.
No, I mean, yeah, that can't.
Crazy.
Yeah, especially with those eyelashes and that weave. She's a walking red flag.
Oh my
But I
gosh.
mean, to be honest with you, evidently her relationship with the guy that she's with, she sees it as not a permanent relationship.
She ain't loyal. She
No,
certainly
she's definitely
ain't
not
loyal.
loyal. She saw the guy with the better car at the gas station and was trying to see what's up with them after she found out what type of car he drives. That's toxic. Guys, no.
But she tried to play loyal at first, though. She won't give him no game.
Yeah, she took a thought. She had to figure out what car he was driving. That's what that was about. There are women out there that's like that. These are modern women, but this is on the lower scale of the modern woman totem pole. So she's coming off as a very alpha female in their approach, not feminine at all when she speaks to the other brother in the Corvette.
All she was missing
What's
was
up?
a bro.
What's up? And then she had the nerve to say that who she with is her best friend. She goes so far to diss this guy and to say that is her best friend. So she doesn't value their relationship at all. At all. Guys, don't get yourselves in a situation with women like these. These type of modern women will drain your bank accounts and take all that you got. They're probably living together to pay rent.
Right.
And that's, it happens. It happens.
Right.
That's the reason why, guys, you choose the woman and the woman lives with you. So this doesn't happen to you.
You choose the right spouse.
You see,
from the beginning.
If you all right, say the car situation, guys, if you choose the woman to come live with you, just like that brother drove off, you can put her stuff out on the curb because she can no longer choose to live with you.
Right.
You protect yourself in that way.
Definitely.
But she's definitely in the wrong for trying to holler at the other brother when she already has a man of her own. But evidently,
he also didn't know how to choose the right spouse. That's why we have today's topic, tonight's topic. Choosing the right spouse, how to do it. Let's solve some problems because obviously he misstep somewhere along the lines because there's no way you couldn't have seen that she was not going to be loyal or she wasn't loyal.
right,
You know, what were the red flags that you missed?
right.
You know, what's going on? Because, dude,
I think more so the guy that she's with ignored all of those I'm hoping he
Right.
ignored all those red flags.
that we will talk about tonight.
Right.
Let's get in them
Yeah.
because obviously something's up.
Yeah.
You
So
wanna start off.
so tonight, if you find yourself picking the wrong kind of lover or over and over again or staying in toxic relationships, there may be aspects of your dating patterns, relationship behavior, and history you haven't considered.
Yeah. Your dating patterns. That's a big one.
Yep.
What are your dating patterns? Clearly, in that clip, that girl had a dating pattern of, let me see what kind of car he driving first. Like, what you got on? Or something. It's obviously she has a bad dating pattern of just seeing something physical, seeing something she likes, and immediately just going for that. Bad way to pick a spouse.
Right. Yeah. And I always say
Bad way
that
to
too.
pick
You
a
don't
spouse.
pick the person who could be your potential spouse on looks.
Right.
Looks alone does not constitute who you are going to spend the rest of your life with. Now you may get lucky. And then ultimately be with the one forever.
Mm-hmm.
But let's break that mold and provide you with some solid
Ways that you can stop that.
right, solid ways that you can break out of that pattern of picking the wrong people. Because that's the thing too. If you've been in multiple relationships over and over again, if you had incurred multiple divorces in your relationship over and over again, the thing is this: you might have to self-reflect on yourself and ask yourself these questions, or a question: what am I doing wrong? What am I doing, and why am I picking wrong?
Mm-hmm.
So evidently there is something going on there.
Mm.
Now, if you're doing this over and over again, this is your fault. You are picking wrong. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So let's dive into this.
First, if
Go
you
ahead.
do that, I think the first best way to do that is to identify what you are attracted to. I think last week, go back in our videos. Last week we talked about another clip where the woman was like, "Oh, I need chains, and oh, I need a gangbanger, and
Well,
oh, he got to do
Yeah,
this."
2 videos ago.
Right. What are you attracted to? Identify that first off, because it will then help you to pinpoint, okay, what are the unhealthy traits that I am attracted to that aren't even in alignment with what I need in a spouse? You know, like, are chains what really make a great husband? Is gang banging what makes a great husband? And is that what you want in your husband? Like, so really, what are you attracted to? Identify that. And I think that can help start you on the path to first realizing, okay, what, if these are the things that I'm attracted to, how are they in a way corrupting my thinking pattern, in a way disrupting my choices on who I choose, especially if you're really attracted to it, like say you like them gangbanging guys or whatever, and you're really attracted to that, so you automatically gravitate towards that. How does that attraction have you making bad decisions? Because you're just so attracted to that,
Right. And then also too, relationship pattern. You're talking about that. Oh, think about all of the failed relationships had occurred to you because you're picking the wrong people. So
Yeah.
think of the people that you are attracting, and think and look at their qualities
Mhm.
in relation to, I don't want to say that, and don't, what you're aligning yourself with.
Yeah.
If the problem here is this with that part is that a lot of people need to fix themselves first, get themselves right, and then start looking for people.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're damaged in your
Mhm.
damaged state, more than likely you're going to find someone, or you're going to gravitate to someone who's just as bad as you are.
Mm-hmm.
Just as bad off as your lifestyle. If you're partying too much, you're going to attract people who party a lot around you.
Mm-hmm.
All of this is about dating with intention, to hope the one day that you can have, get married and raise a family.
Yeah.
So if first of all, if your mindset isn't right and you're trying to go out here and date people, then you're only going to get what you put out.
Right.
That's all, that's the bottom line of it.
Yeah.
So once your mind is set on the institution of marriage and you're ready to find someone, then you can align yourself and then look for these red flags.
Yeah.
Stay away from those people who don't share your, I guess, your good interests.
Yeah, the values that you
The
really
values,
want,
right.
that align with, like my husband was saying, that align with what you desire in a wife. Men too. If you see this woman is not, portraying the qualities that you want in a wife, stop that.
Right.
Don't date that. Just because she's beautiful, just because her booty big, just because her tata's nice, stop that. That's not what makes a great wife. That's not going to raise your children.
Right.
Women too. Just because they have a nice face, good body, whatever.
Right.
Or they game is good. They can put it down good. Them Pookies and Ray that I heard around the block, they can put it down good. I don't know, but that's not don't do that.
Right. And I preach this over and over again, risk management, making the best decision, learning from your mistakes so that you don't make those decisions ever again.
Right, because we're not saying that we all start off knowing how to choose the right spouse. Like I was saying in the beginning, attraction, man, we just can't help that, things that we're attracted to. But it's really important to identify what unhealthy things am I attracted to, or even just what things I'm attracted to that has no value to what I'm looking for in my relationship. That's really important. Really important. So, yeah. Also, if you find as you are looking, out here for a spouse, if you find you don't even know what you want in a man or a woman, take the time to write those things down. I think one big thing my husband always says is that when he was starting to look for a wife, he actually wrote a job description of what he wanted his wife to be. Granted, in fact, I did not see this, but I think in the way the universe was able to manifest through that him writing it down specifically what he wanted manifest actually, me, his wife, so I think that's really important to get clear on what it is that you want in a spouse, the good qualities. Do some research. If you don't know, maybe look around and ask, like what makes a good husband? My Wife Economics course. Definitely we talk about that for a whole week. What are the qualities, the masculine traits that you need to look for in a man,
Right. Yeah, most definitely. That is a great place for women to find good characteristics and details on how to become a wife.
Yeah.
So I want to put that shameless plug in there. So go to www.wifeconomics.com, check it out. And then women, you will find great details and information on how to be a wife, and also self-help information first, because you have to get yourself right first before you can get right with other people and form relationships.
Definitely.
All right, so moving on.
Taking the time to recognize that you are actually paying attention to the red flags.
Right.
That was a big one on how to choose the right spouse.
Right.
Pay attention to those red flags.
Right. I remember just being younger and dating. When we were younger, we didn't have this information that was out there on the internet as far as what red flags were. We didn't pay attention to any of that. Trial and error was going on. And then also too, not dating with intentions.
Yeah.
So now that we're older, and we had the last show about maturity, and we're more mature, so we're dating with intention. So we need to take the time to recognize if you actually paying attention to the red flag. So reflecting on yourself. So thinking about the person you're courting or you're dating, and ask yourself, is this somebody who I can, be with? Are they a helpmate to me? Are they, women, is the man that you're talking to a provider and a protector of you? And then men, are these women, is this woman that I'm talking to, can she possibly, cook, clean, be my helpmate? Is she's kind? These certain things. Loyal by far. Yeah, back to that clip, loyal. That was a good test of loyalty for that man and that woman in that relationship. And evidently she failed horribly. But that man got to find that out, and I'm pretty sure he's not talking to her ever again. You know, he's probably drove off to the apartment and packed her bags, and they're out on this, they're out on the sidewalk.
I hope they didn't live together. That was a bad decision if they lived together and that was something that she decided to do. Like, ooh,
Yeah, they got
messy.
they got tension going on. Evidently, he's not providing or protecting, or either she's just that much of an alpha female that she thinks she can go off and just do whatever she wants to do. And that is not cool. That's not cool at all.
Or maybe even a Delta female, like back to the personality traits that we covered. With the Delta female, she's very insecure. And in a situation like that, it makes me wonder if you're only going for a man for the shallow things that he has, how do you see yourself? Like, what do you really value within yourself if you're valuing physical things in another person? You know what I mean? Because often that means that that's what you would consider valuable of yourself. You have to obtain these things in order for you to feel valuable. That's why you go after these men who have these things so that you yourself could feel valuable. Where's your self-esteem at? And that has a huge part on picking the right spouse. Because if your self-esteem is low and you don't love yourself in the way that you know you need to be loved, how in the world could you possibly go out here and look for the right spouse for yourself?
Right.
You don't even love yourself.
Right. I mean, that video was a great example of them not reflecting on red flags. Bottom line, that was the test. So, they got so far in their relationship to the point to where they were tested.
Yeah.
And, she failed. The woman failed at that. So, guys, reflect on is the lady that you're dating exhibiting qualities that you would want her to in order for her to be your wife. If not, go ahead, and I would say if you all haven't had a discussion about it and she's not complying to your program, then go off and see who else you can find. See what other females that are out there. There are plenty of females out there that can possibly fit that mold of what you need as far as a helpmate and somebody who can help possibly be your wife to raise your children, raise a family with.
And women, stop entertaining men that you don't see as who you would want to be your potential husband.
Right.
Why are you wasting your time? If you know in a drop of a dime, all it takes is another man with a little more money to come by you to take you away, boo, you in the wrong relationship.
Right.
Like,
most definitely.
come on. Don't do that to yourself. Do not do that to yourself. So I think that goes right back to what we were saying by writing out a list of important qualities in your future spouse and the important qualities that you would want in a relationship. So you can even know, is this relationship offering me what I'm looking for? Am I putting myself in the right relationships or the right situations with the guys I'm allowing to court me or the women I'm even entertaining? Do they offer me what I want in my relationship, or am I wasting my time?
Right. Most definitely. Time is a currency, whether people don't know it or not.
Yeah.
Just be conscious of that. Just like money, to me, time is more valuable than money. And then dealing with the wrong people in your life, toxic people, they will waste your time and your money. So you get a double whammy already in these situations. You're already dealing with somebody who more than likely is not compatible with you. So you're just wasting all your time and money with people.
Then you're going to get hurt.
Right. Well,
add that onto it because then you go, imagine like you're going into it and you're thinking, oh, maybe this will turn out right, you know, and it don't.
Right. And then what happens to people who aren't disciplined enough? They go around, turn around and do the same thing again with the same wrong person.
Yeah.
And then they wonder, depending on your personality type, you might try to blame other people for your mistakes.
Right.
But then again, it has to come to a time where you question yourself and ask yourself, what is wrong with me? Yeah. Why am I picking the wrong people? Well,
not even what is wrong with me, because I don't even like that question because it just sounds like I don't love myself, well, more so like, what am I doing wrong? Because it's not something directly like you, the person in itself is just doing things that aren't healthy. acting in ways which, like we talked about with going back to the personality traits, if you have a traumatic past, if you have been hurt, if you are even like situations where you loved a person, you had a baby by them and the relationship didn't work out, stuff like that, that's traumatic. People have to understand those relationships really do kind of dictate your perspective when you go back out into the dating world. So just really being mindful of taking the time to heal yourself, like my husband
Right.
was
Most
saying,
definitely.
because man, you can really taint your whole vision of your relationship and how you want things to go just because you've been hurt and you don't even know. I don't even know what love is. You know, I don't even know. Some women get down to the point where all they care about is the material, you know, and they don't even know how to articulate what else they want in a man.
Right.
That's wifeconomics.com.
Yeah,
Let
it
me
can
just
help
say
you
that
with
that's
that.
really something that we needed to learn as women, because I understood that what am I looking for when my relationship comes, and what do I need to feel to be able to be my feminine role naturally and I have nothing to worry about, you know, to actually be able to serve and give to my husband. What traits do I need him to have? You know, do I need him to be disciplined, or do I just need him to have a Corvette?
Right. Yeah, material things don't always equal up to a happy relationship. So, you know, a lot of, you know, then also to love, what money can't buy you love either. So
Yeah.
they always say those type of things.
And even steer clear of people that just look good. Like those attraction relationships aren't even.
Well, I mean, just be mindful of the qualities that you're looking for.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
the first thing is attraction. That's what starts the conversations.
Mhm.
There's nothing wrong with that. But if you're just picking people and just being with people because they look good, and that's where that's where you throw all your dice at, is the fact, okay, I'm just gonna be with this person because they look good. No, that doesn't. That's a red flag on your behalf, because you're not supposed to. Don't choose people or feel like you need to settle for people just because they look good.
Yeah.
It's all about the qualities, characteristics, compatibilities,
Yeah.
and we laid down those previous videos about different personality traits and find out which ones you are, and then work on your attributes, and then find your compatible.
Yeah.
You know,
And ask
your
yourself,
equal.
yeah, and ask yourself, do I date my equal? Am
Mhm.
I actively going out here looking for my equal and dating my equal?
Right.
Am I trying to really do that?
Right.
Or am I living in kind of like a fantasy? One of the other ones, I can't remember if it was the Delta male, kind of lived in like a facade of fantasy of what
Yeah,
they
the Delta
wanted their
male.
relationship to
Aloof.
be.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what you want your relationship to be, and that you're so lost in that you aren't even being realistic in who you're choosing to be your spouse.
Right. Most definitely.
You can miss out on some good people that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, here is a good one. Ladies, say, for example, when we were talking about qualities you want to look for, say you do want a man that is loyal and wants to be in a monogamous relationship. Let me say that, because in these day and ages, you know, you got to be specific. So you want him to be in a monogamous relationship. Are you actively going out here and dating men who come off as those who want to be in a monogamous relationship? Or are you just committing to guys who come by, fly, and just want to give you the best, you know, night of your life, the casual
situation.
dating, or the best night of your life, and then that's just it? Are you being really realistic about whether or not these guys are going to offer you a monogamous relationship, or are you just settling for what comes along? You know, really taking the time to analyze that is a big part in choosing the right spouse. Definitely. What do you think?
I think that is where a lot of relationships start. But the thing is that you have to ask yourself questions, and realize that what you're doing is not conducive or positive, or think of the outcomes, because you have to, like I said, I'm always big on risk management. You think forward about, okay, if I'm going to do this tonight, what's the possible outcomes and the worst that can happen?
Right. Yes.
Like, I'm just being real, you know.
Yes.
We're just out here trying to save people from making bad decisions, and then ultimately, you know, guide people to having great relationships in marriage and families. But to ask yourself that question, you know, because it comes down to, you know, it could be that one night, and all of a sudden you make the bad decision,
Yeah.
and then things change. You know, you know what I'm talking about.
Like
Things
old girl
change.
right there.
Right,
She could have been homeless, like we said. We don't know what happened.
right,
Hopefully she ain't live with that guy. But either way, she out on the street right now. Call her Uber.
right.
Because of that bad decision, not thinking what would happen right now.
Right. You know, and then women, you know, as far as like example, you know, young girls meeting Pookie and Ray Ray, getting with somebody who already got 5 or 6 kids, and then you give them another one because you made a bad decision.
Yeah.
You know, don't do that. If you already know this person is a red flag, don't even do it. Just don't do it.
Yeah.
You know, do yourself a favor. Love yourself enough to say no.
Yeah.
You know.
Definitely. Call in. Guys, hi. Peace. Call in. It's good to see the live streamers. This is a call-in show. Link is in the description. Click on or off camera. We want to hear from you guys. We are really here to help inspire community and push us forward with solutions. So we need a dialogue. This is the type of dialogue that is needed in our community so that we can actually unite the man and the woman in love, because there is no other better relationship than that, baby, because that's how we all got here. Do you hear me? So we need to come together as one and really love each other and choose the right spouses while doing it, because that creates solid families, solid foundations, solid communities, solid nations, and ultimately just really makes us all better people. So that's what we're here for. Again, if you are shy, submit a question, wifeconomics.com. We will answer every question in the beginning that we get on the website. Just if you're nervous, you know, you have an option to get your solutions as well. Yeah. So anyways, back to the topic, how to choose the right spouse. Yeah. So I think, another big one that I think I really want to get into is when I do the Wife Economics course, the whole first week, I spend a lot of time focusing on how to increase a woman's self-esteem and to really build her up to feeling worthy to the type of man she deserves. You know,
Right.
I feel like a lot of women don't feel worthy of the love and affection that they truly deserve because maybe of a past traumatic experience or past relationship that we haven't healed ourselves from, that we get ourselves in relationships that we don't really genuinely benefit from. And then we have situations like that where the girl sees something that she thinks could offer her something better. So she's quick to jump ship because she's already in something that she doesn't want to be in. We have got to do better and increase your self-esteem so that you know the qualities of a man that I deserve to help me to be a great wife and a great mother and just a great overall woman. You know, I really think that's important. Your self-esteem plays a huge, huge part in choosing the right spouse. Also, too, if you're miserable in a relationship, your self-esteem will keep you there as well. Men too.
I was just thinking about that clip again, and that girl, and she leaving that guy, the guy that she's with. You know, we don't know what was wrong with their relationship, but evidently something was wrong. But why she chose to leave him? You know what I'm saying? It could be anything, but what's wrong with her being a helpmate to that man and elevating him in his status of what he's already doing in his career or his profession?
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of selfishness in that video.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of selfishness. And we talked about that before. You know, you got to shed all of those childish behaviors in order to advance relationships. Evidently, she wants to be with somebody. And evidently, you know, she's looking at money and materialism. Don't go into relationships thinking about money and materialism.
Yeah.
Allow that to grow with your relationship.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that.
Right. Why do women, I guess women want to chalk it up to, I don't want to be a man's mama. Who said it's anything like that? What's wrong with inspiring a man, giving him the love and support and allowing him to step up into the position to lead you?
Right. And we're talking about men here,
Yes.
not boys.
Men.
So men with the man mindset of, I got to go out here. I'm going to go out here and provide and protect this woman, and give her a place to stay and, make sure that she's safe. And hopefully one day they get married and raise kids. That type of mindset, not a boy that's out here gaming her and leaving her at the crib and you don't see him all day until that night. Or maybe he's there all day and you don't see him at night. You know, we're not talking about those type of people. So
Mhm.
maybe that's the type of situation that they were in, but something wasn't right there. I don't know. I just wanted to say that.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Yeah, like what was it? What was the reason?
Right. I mean, but it's common though. You see this type of stuff. These things
Is it?
happen.
That's bad.
These
Oh
things
my
happen a lot.
gosh.
Mhm.
That's common. That's such a sad statement to be able to make, to even just be able to make that statement, you know? Like, really? Like, where is that loyalty, that sense of, and even still, where's the point of where you're thinking to yourself, okay, if I don't want to be in this relationship, if maybe I do want something else over right there, I'm gonna still respect him and respect the decision that I did make and not embarrass us right now and do something like that.
Right. Exactly. You know, she's exposing their relationship into something that's going on and behind the scenes. You know, you don't expose home situations and things that you're going through. You don't do that. Don't bring it out in the public. Don't bring it outside your house.
No.
Don't do that. You know, because ultimately that will be the end of your relationship. She must have been conscious enough to understand that what she was going to do was going to end her relationship. But something was going on because she went back to that man's car as if she knew that she was going to get back in that car.
Yeah.
So, you know, she had the audacity to try to get back into that car with that guy.
That's why he said, who owned this car? I gotta see who owned that car. Because word, like, is she about to
Right. And I know the brother in the Corvette didn't, you know, after that, no, I wouldn't even try to call her. Not at all. And even he knew that. He knew that too. He was like, nah.
Again, how can she even herself feel worthy of a man in that moment of time? Don't even say like how you get them is how you lose them. I don't even know if that's true. But the karmatic just experience that could probably come from you just up and jumping ship like that.
Right. Yeah. She's going to go through some karma first before she can straighten herself out. You know, but for her easy shortcut is to go to www.wifeconomics.com and take the courses.
Yeah, and again, that's why the whole first week is about really self-help, and because it's so important to taking that time and recognizing, what am I doing to myself? Am I self-sabotaging? You know, do I put
she definitely did.
Boy,
that.
Did you put yourself in a situation?
Right. She has she has the female Delta personality to self-sabotage herself. But she can always but she gotta blame herself. She came off as an alpha female though. With the what she said, what's up? You know, ladies, please don't approach a man and say what's up. Don't do it.
Okay, yeah, that's the whole,
because that's not wife
no.
like characteristics or behavior.
No,
it's not. Trust me.
Right, because week 6 we get all into what I call feminine allurement and how you actually become a beautiful feminine asset and learn what real femininity is. Because even starting off the whole video in the beginning, if a man is talking to you, not saying that you had to go over to the car or anything, but she was just so rude from the beginning, like just like, you know, like, I mean,
what do you mean?
Just the way she just came off of, like, in the beginning was just mean and rude, like anybody. It was just not nice and approachable.
Oh, because
like,
she wasn't
nice and approachable. I mean, I don't like
to
talk
know,
to a
though,
whole bunch of
because
people, but I still smile.
I took that as that she was already taken.
Yeah, but you can still be kind. It doesn't mean you have to speak. It doesn't mean you even had to do anything. If you heard it, or even if you acknowledged it already and you were just like, okay, you can smile, keep moving. Smile, keep it moving.
I mean, well, that's what happened. Keep it moving. You know, he kept it, the guy kept it moving.
Yeah, but
and then
smile,
he was like, oh, my bad. He was like, I didn't know you was with somebody.
Yeah.
You know.
Smile, keep it moving. Like, you don't have to be grumpy, mean. Like, it's a nice way to, no, thank you.
Well, I mean, that reflects her situation and relationship that she's going through. That's what she's going through. So I mean, that explains it all, you know.
Yeah. I can't get over that. What's up, bro? But anyways, yes. Okay. Back to the topic. How to choose the right spouse so you don't get yourself in situations like that. Seriously. I think in a moment like that, even if you come across a guy and say, for example, they were just dating, maybe she was just on a date with him. Don't go on a date with a guy that you genuinely aren't interested in, because that situation could have been a test. That really could, if you really liked that guy, right? And you were on a date with him and he was trying to see like, how would she handle herself? In those situations, you got an F. Like, you just missed out. Like,
Right. I mean, but that's something that looked like, would occur. Dealing with the modern woman mentality, that's she was already set up for failure because she is a modern woman on the low totem pole spectrum. No one told her qualities to look for in men, and then also to how to handle herself like a lady,
yeah.
like a wife, prospect, a prospective wife. So that's where she fell apart at, was in her own mindset and not trying to align herself in there. So okay, well, let's go to the next bullet.
So another thing, look at how your romantic relationships start and end. This is another point of self-reflection, right? So like my husband had mentioned in Friday's episode when we were talking about maturity, how taking the time to self-reflect is really a great tool for growth. So if you can look back on your relationships and see, how did these start? And how did they end? But first, when you're looking at how your relationships start, self-reflect on how your relationships begin in the sense of who approaches it. Are you the one who approaches it? Is the guy the one that approaches it? Like in that situation, how did that all start off? First off, especially if the guy that she didn't even know right off back, that relationship kind of started off rocky, even if it was going to turn into anything with Mr. Corvette. Like, you already started off bad. So really, but even still, think back on your relationships. How did they start? How did they end? And typically, where did they fall in regards to your decisions of how they were going to move to the next level? So if they started here, how was the conversation in your relationships about what was going to happen next? Was there even a conversation, or did you just quickly hop in bed with him?
Right.
Where was that dialogue that was going on? Yep. The next part is then to examine how your relationships end. So you're going to look at everything from who initiated the breakup, the reason behind the breakup, and how you felt when the relationship ended. That will show a lot about, I guess, if you were the one to initiate the relationship, initiate the breakup, do you have a fear of commitment? Is that possibly the reason why? Was it a toxic situation? Did you ignore some red flags that you could have seen prior to getting yourself in that relationship? What were the things that caused you to break up with that relationship? Really take that time to self-reflect.
Right. I think that one thing that stands out to me is I hear this a lot dealing with women and videos that we see on the internet, is women will go into relationships and think that, we're going to get a divorce anyway. They've already came into the defeated mindset into a relationship. Guys, look for that type of mindset. If you're dealing with a woman who's negative, that negativity ultimately is going to consume the relationship. So go ahead. You might as well set in your mind to go and look for someone else, because we're not about the business of changing people, because only people can change themselves. So a lot of times women will approach or be in the relationship with the minds, and men may also too, but I don't think a lot of men think this way, of coming into the relationship with lack and fear, and in their mindset and what they're thinking, that ultimately plays out into the relationship, and it's not fruitful at all. It's a whole bunch of toxic things that's going on, arguing, fighting, and fussing. So think about that. No, but men now these times may also do, come into that relationship as well, with fear and also lack, because they fear they don't have enough to offer. If that is the case, then men, you need to work on gathering your resources, building up a better network so that you can be better positioned to raise a family. A woman would be, hard pressed to try to leave you if you got everything set up already. All she has to do is be your wife, act accordingly. And as long as you're playing your role, then and your wife is playing the role, then you're setting yourself up for success to raise kids, to raise your family in the right way. But yeah, I think that, pay attention to your breakup patterns.
Yeah,
So,
if I can though, your
go ahead.
point on fear, awesome, because that's so true. Women too, I think going into a relationship with fear will ultimately create something for you to be fearful about
Right.
naturally. So you just can't approach. Love is all about risk. You just have to risk it. If you want to love, you just have to risk it. And I
Right.
know it can be so scary and it can be so daunting, but that's the importance of making sure that you have taken the time, like we said in the beginning, taking the time to figure out the qualities that you want in your husband and the qualities that you want your relationship to have. That's so important, because then if you have known within yourself, I know what I'm looking for, and I'm also going into my dating situation with the mindset of what am I looking for? Does he have the qualities that I want in a husband? Then I can risk love. I feel comfortable trusting myself and my cognitive ability to choose a mate based off of the qualities that I have taken
Right.
the time to write down. That's super important. Super, super important. So if there's anything, what's up, YouTube family? What's up, Instagram family that's just tuned in? Write down the qualities that you want in your mate, men and women. So important. So you don't get yourself in a situation where you're quick to jump ship to somebody else because you're too busy letting some man or woman you don't really want to be with entertain you.
Right. Now we're talking about qualities, not materials.
Yes.
Here. So not materialistic things,
Chains is not a quality.
not looks. How someone look. We're talking about qualities. Someone who can, who's a critical thinker, someone who can, I don't know,
Courage.
someone who's resourceful.
Oh yeah, resourceful for a wife. That's the number one thing
Right.
we're talking about. My wife economics course, definitely the quality of a
Right.
wife, men to look for. Is that woman resourceful? Because you know what, going back to that clip, that man may not have had that Corvette, but you know what? If that woman was resourceful in her ability to support him as a man,
Right.
he
Right.
could have that Corvette. And
Mhm.
y'all both would be driving in that Corvette versus trying to be just the one to go for the man that already has it.
Right.
No, baby girl, learn the qualities within itself that makes you also able to obtain those things. What makes you resourceful?
Right.
That's super important.
Right.
Super important, men. So yeah, look for a wife that's resourceful, because that will make all the difference whether or not she checking for how much money you got in your account, what job you make, and all that other stuff. Because she would be confident in her ability as a woman to work with what she has, and then to not only what they say, a woman can multiply it. We can do that, especially the beautiful creation that God has made with the man and the woman coming together. That was the full purpose of that, so that the man and the woman could have full dominion over the land that they have.
What you
Full
mean by
dominion.
multiply it?
In the sense of knowing how, well, of course, the easiest one is when the man gives the woman the seed of life. She can then breed it, and create a baby.
Okay. No, yeah,
So
I thought
in
you were
that
talking about
sense-
something else, like
But it can apply in
material
different
things.
ways. Yes, but it can apply in different ways as well, because think of it
Can you
this.
give me an example?
If a man, say for example, he only makes $400 a week, right? So
Mhm.
this is your budget that you know that this man has for $400 a week. I'm working with a small budget here, right? So you only have $100 a week that you can spend groceries on,
Mhm.
right? How are you gonna make that $100 and make at least 5 meals, for that time, maybe going to work? How are you going to shop around so that you can maybe get some lunch in there, save some money so that your man is eating, lunch too, you're eating lunch too? How are you able to take that $100 and make it stretch just like it was $200? How are you able to do that? To be resourceful. That is resourceful.
Budgeting.
That is,
We're
that's
talking
real.
about budgeting.
Yeah, those are real great, but that's all part of being a wife and
Right.
housekeeping a home. You
Right.
have to have those skills.
I mean, to add on that, also a good woman, a good wife can also too increase a man's income.
Mhm.
Think about that. I'm not going to give away those jewels. I'm not giving away those jewels. You have to pay for those. But yes, a good wife can
Yeah.
also increase her spouse's income as well.
Yeah.
Not because she's working.
Yeah.
there's other ways that a good wife can increase her man's income as well.
Hint, hint, because I love y'all out there. Look at y'all situations and how can you use your benefits, the things that you're good at, to then, if it's not money, if you don't have money, you ain't got to give money. But what things can you bring, the qualities that you can bring that can help this man multiply his money?
Right.
Look at that. Just think about that. And we all have that ability. You just have to, again, know yourself. That's why it's so big in the beginning. The first week of our Wife Economics course, know yourself. You have to, because that really helps you to then know what qualities and what you really bring to the table. You know, what's not, and not even just money, because money isn't, even for the woman, money isn't as important, you know.
Right.
But even for some alpha woman, I guess if they date a beta male, you know, maybe money is what this alpha woman brings to the table. That's okay. How can she use that to benefit a beta male in a great relationship?
A camera cut off.
Oh, no.
Well, we'll keep on talking to the Instagram folks.
Oh, yes. I'm so sorry, guys. Our camera cut off YouTube.
Technical difficulties. Excuse me.
Oh, no. I'm so sorry. Hey, Instagram, we're going to keep it moving. Our YouTube stream has cut off, but you know what? Y'all in this too. So, yes, what great qualities can you recognize as a woman that you have that you can bring to the table? So big to know it, right along with knowing what qualities you need in your spouse. That is a huge one. Huge, huge, huge one. But yeah, today's topic was so big and we have almost hit our 1 hour mark. So I want to drop this in one more time to say, guys, this is a call-in show. So please click the link in the link description of our YouTube channel. If you can click the link for that, you could call in on or off camera. And as well in our Instagram, request to join live. I can't see the comments, Instagram. I'm so sorry, technical difficulties. We're trying to see the comments, but yeah, if you request to join live in our Instagram, we will share our screen so you can join the conversation with our YouTube people. But back to YouTube, we are back on and going. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So thank you guys for tuning in and for supporting us as we are new to this and learning all of this. But we doing all of this for y'all, for sure, for sure.
Yeah, most definitely. And then
last part.
you just want to summarize this?
Yeah, because we are on the last part. Sorry, our notes. We got to keep on track. Okay, so last one more helpful thing I think I wanted to cover, and I think I've touched on it a bit in the beginning, but it's super important when choosing your spouse to ask yourself, how do I feel about myself? How do I treat myself? And how do I expect others to treat me? Super important when choosing your spouse, because then you know, one, what I am going to take in this relationship and whether or not this person is treating me and giving me what I am really worth, my worth, not what I think I deserve or less than that, because traumatic pasts can make you think that, oh, you don't deserve love, right? It can make you feel like, oh, I don't deserve a good man, you know,
right.
Or a good woman. Men too can go through that.
Right. Most definitely.
Yeah. So also too, when answering these questions, if you are naturally insecure and you know that these are things that you have to work on, please take the time to work on that before you choose a spouse. Because like my husband said, you will be a quick target for somebody to take advantage of you. A quick target for that. If that man in that Corvette wanted to, going back to that clip from earlier, if that man in that Corvette wanted to, he could have taken that girl home, had his way with her, and dropped her off.
Right.
Because that showed exactly what she thought she was worth.
Right. Exactly. That was it. I mean, if she might have been it was so many. It's so much things that I was thinking about her, but I mean, there's so much things that a man would see in her. He could have his way with her.
Yeah.
And because he's and his thought mindset is not trying to make her his wife. You know, she was just a good time, to be honest with you. You know, don't let that happen to you because you're making bad decisions.
Not thinking
it through. Yeah.
Man, that was a split decision.
Like, yeah, it was.
She didn't give it no thought. I feel like she looked at that car and just jump ship.
Right.
No thought about what's gonna happen to me next.
Right. That's
and
true.
then on the side here, you are crying and you wondering why I keep getting myself in these relationships because you're not taking the time to think about what am I getting myself into when I'm choosing my spouse.
Right.
Again, she might not, she didn't even care what he looked like for real. She just cared what the car looked like. So that's just a bad attraction overall. But you're just allowed that attraction aspect to just throw you off course and have you make a bad decision that ultimately
made you lose your place of residence.
put you on the street.
Right. That's what it seems like. I mean, I'm pretty sure that, homeboy that actually brought her to that gas station who left him is not going to let her live with him if they're living together. That's crazy. So
I hope that wasn't a real relationship. I just really hope that they were dating and that she could call Uber and tonight make better decisions for her life. Go back and contemplate like, ooh, hopefully I hope and pray that was the moment where, everybody needs their moment where they're just like, dang, like I'm doing this to myself. Like, like
a reality check.
Yeah. Hopefully that was a good reality check for her, because that was super embarrassing.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I mean, I hope she learned from that. I mean, there's multiple things that she could learn from that. She can learn that she needs to be patient, one, in her relationship. And if things aren't going right, she need to be an open communicator with her man that she currently had.
Yeah.
And she needs to
evaluate her loyalty.
Right. She need to, I always, I'm always overlooking that. She needs to be more loyal, in her relationship.
Yeah. And if she's really ready to be married, I'm sorry to cut you off.
Right. Yeah, exactly. She needs to ask herself that question. Exactly. Is she ready to be married? But and then also too, it was trust. We talk about loyalty and trust. She needs to figure out why she's not trustworthy.
Yeah.
What's her driving factor in a relationship, and evaluate that, because ultimately it's not any of those things.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's amazing. I don't know.
Yeah. Ultimately to the loyalty part like that, are you ready to be committed to the institution of marriage? Because I think that's what people forget. It's first, a wife is committed to the institution of marriage first.
Right.
And I'm not saying institution like, oh, this is a facility that's or strict or whatever. No.
It's the idea of marriage.
The ideas and the beliefs and the common behaviors and ideologies that married people have. We think a certain way. We all have common beliefs that we stand on and that we adopt within our relationships so that we can have successful marriages.
Right.
This is what we are sharing with you all. And the first one is our commitment to the institution of marriage, not your spouse first. So it doesn't quite matter who your spouse is. If you decide that, oh, I'm going to be a wife, your first commitment is to the institution of marriage. And then after writing down your spouse qualities that you want, evaluating, putting yourself in the right positions, doing all these things, then you commit to the right spouse.
Right.
Yeah. Wow. This was a loaded show, guys. This really was.
You want to, I want to summarize these.
Okay. Go ahead.
So the first one was on the topic of how to choose your right spouse in modern times. Number one, take the time to identify types of lovers you are attracted to.
Mm-hmm.
The qualities. We're talking about the qualities. So look at those qualities. And then number two, examine your patterns around attraction by reflecting on the traits you are most attracted to.
Yeah. And identifying whether or not they're emotional or physical, and whether or not they are actual qualities that are going to make up your right spouse.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then three, take the time to recognize if you are actually paying attention to the red flags early in your relationship. Pay attention to those red flags, and don't ignore them.
Mm-hmm.
Don't ignore them because who the spouse person you're with look good.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let that cloud your judgment on whether you're going to continue to spend your time with this person or waste your time with this person.
Mm-hmm.
Number four, define what is important to you in a spouse and a relationship. So define those things on what's important to you in the relationship and in a spouse.
Mm-hmm.
Which ones is it?
Write a list. I like that.
Okay.
It goes writing along with once you have defined it, write it down, as well as what important qualities you want in your relationship. That's important too, because your spouse, of course, write that down, and then also what qualities you want your relationship to have.
Right.
That's important too.
And then ask yourself, do I date people who exhibit the qualities I am looking for and offer the type of relationships I'm seeking?
Mm-hmm. Yep, because then you will know, am I on track to getting what I want?
Right.
Does Pookie offer me what I want?
Right. And then number 5, look at how your romantic relationships start and end.
Mm-hmm.
So recognize those patterns.
Mm-hmm.
And then 6, examine how your relationship ends, including everything from who initiates each breakup.
Yep. And also look at how you feel about yourself, how you treat yourself, and how you expect others to treat you as well. Examine your own self-esteem, because that will say a whole lot about the type of relationships you allow yourself to get in.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah, so thank you guys. This has been a great stream. We're doing this Monday through Friday at 8:30. Click the link in the restream for restream so you can be on or off camera, have a conversation with us, a dialogue, because that's what this is all about. And Instagram people as well, you can request to join live. We will be doing this every night, uniting our men and our women together with solutions that bring us together in love, because that's important. There is no relationship more important than a man and a woman coming together.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Peace, family.
Peace.
Good night.